Welcome to part 4 of the Nutrition Essentials class. My name is Keely and I'm a dietitian here at the Toronto Western Hospital Bariatric Surgery Program. In this module, we will be talking about portion sizes and food tracking. Portion control is important because it helps to control your caloric intake, prevents overeating, and it does improve the accuracy of food tracking so you know if you're meeting your goals. In order to practice portion control, you should start with measuring your foods. You can do this by using food scales, measuring cups and spoons. You can also measure the bowl or the plate that you typically use so you know exactly how much it holds. You can also use smaller containers or smaller dishes or using reusable containers with measurements on them. If you are considering to reduce your portion sizes as you're getting prepared for surgery, we advise against reducing your portions in big amounts. Instead, we recommend that you reduce your portion sizes in very small amounts gradually over time in order to make it achievable and sustainable. This also helps to prevent significant hunger as you are reducing your portion sizes. Now, I want to elaborate more on food tracking as this is something that we are going to ask that you do before your nutrition assessment. Food tracking allows you to see what you're actually eating versus what you think you're eating. Food tracking is important because it helps you to learn more about your eating habits and patterns. It helps to keep you accountable. It helps to raise calorie awareness so you can make more informed decisions about your food choices. Food tracking can also help to see if you are meeting your goals. For example, we encourage that our patients meet a protein goal of 60 to 80 grams a day, as well as a fiber goal of 25 grams or more a day. And food records can really help to identify your strengths and areas for improvements so you can set new goals and stay motivated. It is really key to be honest with yourself and with us when tracking your food. We're not here to judge or evaluate you, but to support you. With detailed and honest food records, we are then able to work together with you to troubleshoot and set realistic goals together. You can choose to keep food records using pen and paper or using electronic food tracking applications. We will discuss more about these options in the next few slides. Pictured here is a food record template and it is available in your Eating for Health Before and After Bariatric Surgery manual on page 9. Please print off these records and complete them by writing in detail everything you eat each day for 2 weeks. This will need to be completed before your nutrition assessment appointment with the dietitian, and you are required to send these back to the dietitian you're meeting with before your appointment. You can do this by scanning or taking pictures of them and emailing back to us. If you have not completed or sent these 2 weeks of food records to the dietitian, your appointment will be rescheduled and your surgery will be delayed. This is an example of a food record that is incomplete. It does not specify essential details such as portion sizes, brands or types of food, and the time each meal or snack was eaten. For example, in breakfast, it says eggs, bacon, and toast. It does not give us detail about how many eggs or how many slices of a bacon or how many pieces of toast was consumed. It also doesn't give us details about what type of toast was consumed. And in dinner, it says Chinese food. Again, it is not really giving us much detail around what was consumed, whether it was takeout or whether it was homemade, was it chicken dumplings or vegetable stir fry, or how much was consumed. Again, these are some examples of details that we do require in your food record. This food record shows us the portions of food and what was in the food that was eaten. You can also see the timing of meals and snacks on here, which again, this is a great example of a detailed food record. Instead of using the paper food record template, you may prefer to use electronic food tracking. MyFitnessPal is available online on your computer or as an app for your smartphone. Bariatric app is available only as an app on your smartphone, but it is designed for individuals having bariatric surgery. It has features like setting alarms or inputting your surgery date. Both of these food tracking tools will give you additional information such as energy, protein, fat, and carbohydrates in foods that you have logged for the day. If you choose to use one of these electronic food tracking applications, please complete 14 days of food records and email them to the dietitian you'll be meeting with your nutrition assessment. With the Bariatric app, you can email your food records directly from the phone using the app. And for the MyFitnessPal app, you would need to download your food records as a PDF file on your computer and then emailing them. You can also go into your MyFitnessPal app on your phone, going into settings, and then into privacy center, and then choosing diary sharing, and then choosing the locked with the key option to share your food records with us. If you're unsure about how to share your food records, make sure to connect with us via email ahead of time so we can help you with that. This is a screenshot of what food records looks like when completed with MyFitnessPal. So before we move on, I would just like to summarize the information about food records. You are required to complete 2 weeks worth of food records before your nutrition assessment appointment with the registered dietitian. This can be done using paper food record templates or an electronic food tracking app like MyFitnessPal or Bariatric. Once completed, we ask that you email the 2 weeks of food records to the dietitian you're scheduled to meet with before your nutrition assessment appointment. If these are not completed, then your appointment will be rescheduled and your surgery will be delayed. Now we have discussed a lot about healthy eating guidelines. We wanted to provide some examples of how healthy eating can be achievable and sustainable while having a busy schedule or while you're on the go. As you can see here, you can still choose more healthy options while you are out and about. Here on breakfast, we see on the left hand side is a chocolate chip muffin, and then on the right hand side, we see a breakfast sandwich. Both can be from places, for example, like Tim Hortons or any other fast food place. So the chocolate chip muffin, of course, very delicious, but low in protein, high in sugar and fat, also likely to be quite high in calories as well. However, it's not going to keep us full because of the low protein amount. Whereas the breakfast sandwich is going to give us some protein from the eggs and cheese and some carbohydrates from the English muffins, which the combination of the two is going to keep us full for a longer period of time while not having as much calories. Now let's look at lunch. On the left hand side, we have burger and fries. On the right hand side, we have a chicken wrap with some salad. The right hand side, that lunch is going to be a more balanced meal, which because of more amount of vegetables, again, that means more fiber, and also still giving us a good amount of protein from the chicken and the cheese that is in the wrap, and of course, a good source of carbohydrates as well. And this also is a meal that has lots of variety in it. And again, it's going to keep us full until the next time we eat with a lesser amount of calories. On the left hand side, the burger is going to give us some protein, but the meal itself is not very high in fiber. And also, it is going to be likely higher in fat, which means higher in calories. Now, let's look at the afternoon snack. On the left hand side, we have a jar of nuts. On the right hand side, we have a handful of nuts with an apple. Again, the right hand side offer more balance and variety as it is combining protein and fiber together to help us stay full and tie us into the next meal. We know that nuts is a great source of protein, healthy fats, as well as some fiber. However, we also know that it is high in calories. By snacking on nuts in the original packaging, it is likely that we are going to overeat or eat a little bit more than we actually need, which again lead to a higher caloric intake. Now let's look at the dinner. On the left hand side, we have some chicken wings, which is maybe deep fried, have some sauce on it. On the right hand side, we have some grilled or barbecue chicken with some potato and butter and some frozen veggies. Of course, on the right hand side, again, we're seeing more balance and more variety in that meal, offering both fiber and also, of course, protein, as well as a good source of carbohydrates and some fat with the butter and the potato. Whereas on the left hand side, again, not a lot of fiber. You are getting protein from the chicken wings. However, it is also likely going to be higher in fat as well. And of course, again, lacking that balance and variety. And then now let's look at the last snack of the day, where we have on the left hand side, we have some ice cream. On the right hand side, we have some yogurt and berries. Of course, very different food choices. Ice cream is great even in snack, again, eaten in moderation. It is not a great source of protein, unfortunately, and it is also can be high in sugar and fat, and of course, again, higher in calories. Whereas on the right hand side, having some protein from the yogurt and some fiber from the berries, it is going to offer you again more of a satiating factor, keeps you full for a longer period of time. Now let's look at the daily total. On the right hand side, we have total calories of 1,768 with 92 grams of protein. On the left hand side, the total calories comes up to be 3,651 with 160 grams of 160 grams of protein. Of course, we're looking at lesser amount of calories on the right-hand side, still giving you a good amount of protein. A few things that wasn't really shown on this slide here is that, of course, again, when we look at the right hand side, we're getting more balance, more fiber, more variety in our diet. And we're also not looking at any sort of restriction here. When we look at the left hand side, of course, we're getting a lot more protein, 160 grams, quite a bit more protein comparatively. However, we're also consuming way more calories, not a whole lot of fiber, and also more sugar and more fat in that diet. And also, unfortunately, not a lot of balance and variety. Again, this is just to show that making healthier choices can make a difference throughout your day. And of course, we're not to say that you can't eat any of the foods on the left hand side, but when it comes to a healthy diet, we do encourage you to make healthy food choices while still enjoying some of the foods that you really enjoy in moderation, such as the foods that is on the left hand side. And that would be the best way to maintain a sustainable, healthy diet. After surgery, the items on the nutrient facts panel that will be most important to you are protein, fiber, and sugar. Protein for the reasons that we previously mentioned, fiber because it helps you to stay full for a longer period of time, also helps with regularity. Of course, constipation is one of the biggest concerns sometimes after surgery that our patients often struggle with. And sugar, because it can potentially cause dumping syndrome. More information about dumping syndrome is available in your nutrition manual. This concludes the fourth nutrition module. Please now proceed to the fifth module titled Bariatric Scorecard and Goal Setting. Thank you for watching.